first tackle when defending.
I think it's like.
David Raya to Arsenal. Personal terms agreed as Brentford goalkeeper pushes for transfer. London rivals are now set to begin talks over the Spain international, who wants to complete Emirates switch this month. Big up everybody tuned in. Let's see the current status with Arsenal news, views, rumours and topics. Smash the like button, comment throughout when this video premieres or after. And yeah, get set, man. Let's see what's concerning Arsenal. As I just said, allegedly, according to the Evening Standard, Arsenal have agreed a contract in principle with David Raya. The Spain goalkeeper is keen to move to the Emirates Stadium this summer after agreeing a long-term deal and has told Brentford of his desire to complete the transfer. Arsenal are ready to begin club-to-club talks after Tottenham and Bayern Munich both walked away from potential deals over Brentford's £40 million asking price. It remains unclear what a move for Raya would mean for current Gunners number one Ramsdale. Ramsdale, who's been our number one, signed a new deal and is part of the future. Some reports say he's going to now become the deputy and Raya will become the number one. Some say it's to compete with each other and may the best man win. Some say Raya is coming in to be the number two. I don't want either player to be happy with the number two, push each other, and ultimately the best man wins, and that makes us better as a football club, essentially, people. For what it's worth, Brentford believe the requested fee represents fair value when benchmarked against Manchester United's £47.2 million move for Onana last month. They are comfortable with the fact that the 27-year-old could leave on a free next summer with just 1 year remaining on his contract. And to be fair, you know, it gives them a year to find a new goalie. They did buy him for £3 million. While they're missing out on some sort of profit, they might deem, you know, someone that was ever present and is a key player of their system. You know, they're going to be without Ivan Toney for some part. You don't want to lose other foundations into your system. They might reckon we'll let you leave. At the same time, though, we know with Raya, he's rejected 2 contract offers. His contract is out. And, you know, Brentford have showed their public hand. You know, the manager's come out and said, boy, you know what? He wants to leave. 40 million for a player with a year left. To be fair, when you look at, obviously, you can't look at the situations the same, but Declan Rice, potentially Harry Kane, to Bayern Munich. In terms of similarities with the system, you know, again, Brentford are within their rights to demand whatever, and he is Premier League proven. Apparently, he will not renew his contract at Brentford and wants to join a bigger club, people, and is rejected by Munich. Football transfers, and this is the same article, the same people that said we're going to get Tchouaméni, Mbappe, and so on and so forth. I don't know if they know what they're talking about. I'm not saying they do or don't. For what it's worth, he'll be signed as a replacement for Ramsdale, not competition. A source close to the deal has told Football Transfers, allegedly. Scrolling all the way down, make no mistake, if David Raya is signed by Arsenal, he'll be brought in as number one goalie. It's terrible news for Ramsdale. It's only terrible news if you let it happen. You say not on my watch. When you get your chance, take it, really and truly. So there's a lot of conflicting reports. Again, Sky Sports has said we want the Brentford goalie to compete with obviously Ramsdale, and I'm happy to have 2 good goalies. With him being 27 and Ramsdale a couple of years younger than him, both of them have ambitions to be a key part of their team and play for their countries and things. At some point, either next season or the season beyond, something has to happen where, you know what, Ramsdale signed a new deal. If he moves on, fair enough. If David Raya becomes the number one, fair enough. If he becomes the number 2, fair enough. Obviously, he's better than Matt Turner. Maybe David Raya is a keeper we've had admiration for because we've gone for him before and we weren't planning on signing a backup keeper, but it looks like Matt Turner could depart the club. Maybe Matt Turner's made us be a bit reactive to a market opportunity of bringing in a keeper that Arteta clearly has admiration for. Goalkeeping coaches at Arsenal have admiration for as well, people. When you compare, you know, there's very little to say there. You know, Ramsdale has 2 errors leading to goal. Raya has 1. Raya kept 12 clean sheets. Ramsdale kept 14. Raya conceded 46 goals. Ramsdale conceded 42. In terms of saves, Raya was a lot more busier. He made 154 saves to 95 of Ramsdale's. His save percentage is 77% compared to Ramsdale's 69. He's played 1,475 passes compared to Ramsdale's 934. Could that be because we've got better players and Ramsdale doesn't need to? But at the same time, I think their distribution is quite even. I think the one thing David Raya has over him is his level of focus. Interestingly, Ramsdale's pass accuracy is higher with 63% to 61. Maybe that's because he's played less passes, really. For what it's worth, Thomas Frank said he's worth 40 million. I'd love to get that for him. He's one of the 4 best keepers in the Premier League last season. What is the price for a player with 1 year left? Declan Rice went to Arsenal for 105 million. Is that a fair price? And Harry Kane on 1 year left, and they're talking about 150. Anyway, the good thing is it's not up to me. It's always complicated, two sides of the coin when it comes to negotiations, and we meet somewhere in the middle. So we've agreed personal terms with his camp on a length of contract, his wages, bonuses, all of that jazz. Clearly, he wants to stay in London if you've rejected Bayern Munich, where, you know, I know you've got Manuel Neuer ahead of you allegedly, but there's an opportunity there. Chelsea were linked with Raya. They've also been linked with Brighton Sanchez, a bit like Arsenal you would have seen over the last 24 hours. So we'll have to see. We do have to meet somewhere in the middle. Surely 25, 30 odd million pounds is fair value. Apparently, Raya said he's ready to make the next step in his career this summer as well, people. So we'll have to see. He did travel with Brentford to America for their pre-season preparations for Brentford, following joining them from Blackburn. He's played 161 times, people. And surely he classifies as homegrown because he's been in England since he was 15, 16. So there's a lot of similarities with Arteta. We know Arteta's a Spaniard and a proud one at that. But, you know, having spent a number of years at the Emirates and even longer at Everton and just keeping up the whole theme of Britain, Arteta at Rangers, clearly he might see a bit of himself. Romano's also doubled down on claims that we've agreed personal terms. I understand David Raya has reached an agreement in principle with Arsenal on personal terms. Brentford have been informed by the player's side that he wants to join Arsenal, and talks between the clubs over a formula/price and now expected to accelerate, people. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on there, people. Romano has basically said that there, and this article reiterates that apparently Raya wants to go to Arsenal, and Brentford have been informed of that. Arsenal want to create competition in that role, but again, it's not a done deal yet because it depends on the clubs. So we have to wait a bit longer before calling this a done deal. I revealed a few days ago that Raya's preference is Arsenal over Bayern Munich. This is because Bayern only offered a loan deal to Brentford and the player wanted something different. Now let's see if Bayern will react as things progress with Arsenal. At the moment, a deal with Bayern is off, but you never know in football, which is facts, people. Until he signed on the dotted line, anything can happen. Santi Cazorla, who was once linked with returning to the Emirates as a coach, apparently Xavi has asked him to become part of the coaching staff at Barcelona, but he wants to stay in Qatar for another year. Some of you would have seen Arsenal defender Austin Trusty is set to join Sheffield United in a permanent deal for £5 million. As you know, we bought him 18 months ago for £1.5 million. We've made a quick profit. Hopefully there's a sell-on clause there, and may he keep developing the 24-year-old, people. You know, he had a great loan spell at Birmingham, 24 years of age, starting to finally make inroads into the USMNT American national team. Wish him all the best, people. You can't go wrong making a profit. Only time will tell if we pulled the trigger too early. I don't quite believe this because Trossard is going to be needed next season, but Trossard could become surplus to requirements this summer. Maybe next summer or the summer beyond that, because, you know, wingers and strikers are always what clubs are looking for. But I think this is a myth, especially because we just spent £21 million on him a few months ago, people. Unless you're going to bring a winger in, which is probably more likely to be a right winger than someone that plays where Trossard can play off that left, because we seem quite stuck there. Who knows, really? We've also been linked with Mohamed Kudus, but it doesn't seem like there's anything significant in that regards, people. For what it's worth, though, people, Mislintat allegedly said there are clubs that have informally inquired about him in relation to Kudus. I don't expect an offer very soon. Perhaps the interest is not as serious as everyone thinks, really. So what is actually happening in the world of football and what's being reported in the media are two very different things. Ray Parlour has been speaking about Edu, people, and he said Edu's work is still not done where the transfer business is concerned. I speak to Edu, and he can't give too much away because it's very confidential what they're trying to do. But I know for a fact he wants to get a few players out, 3 or 4 players who are probably not going to feature. And he then said they're all on good contracts, so sometimes it's difficult to do that, but I'm sure he's working very hard on doing that. If the players can agree to leave and go to other clubs, then maybe there's room for another player coming in. I don't know who. I'm sure he's been keeping tabs on everyone. He's a good lad, Edu. And I think the most important thing now is to get 3 or 4 players out the club and probably release a bit of money that way. Obviously, Matt Smith has gone. Ben Cottrell's gone. A number of under-21s are set to leave / have left. Obviously, Austin Trusty could go. It seems to be going. There's interest in Matt Turner. Obviously, Balogun could be going into or elsewhere. And there's probably a couple of others. The Lokongas to the Fares is of this world. The less said, the better. Nicholas Pepe, again, we're at where we're at with these individuals. He then said, you never know with players. Some players who are coaches, I never thought they'd be a coach. And it's just what roads you go down. Edu's got good contacts, especially around Europe and Brazil. He seemed to fit in perfectly from Arsenal's point of view because he's an ex-player. He's been in the dressing room, which has been very successful, which is always good. He then said he knows the sort of characters you probably need if you're going to be successful. He's done a brilliant job so far. The club are obviously backing the manager now, and Edu and Mikel are working very hard together to try and get the players they want. I'm sure if they can get a few players out, which is sometimes difficult, they might be looking at just one or two more players coming in. I think we need a central midfielder regardless. Maybe there's potentially scope to bring a striker or a winger depending on what the market dictates. We've been linked with Jesper Limstrong once again, people. It seems like the transfer rumours are going full circle. Apparently, people, Arsenal and Liverpool are set to go head-to-head for him, people. And an auction for the Dane could see his initial price tag of around 35 million soar to 50. I'm not too sure on if this is really true with the 27-year-old, people, really and truly, but he's a player we have been linked with before, so maybe there's some credibility. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who left on a free transfer, but we hope our Haylen mate can get a new role. Apparently, Sheffield United and Luton are interested in him, people, and he has interest from Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Portugal, and Germany. So hopefully he makes the next best step. We did hear yesterday from Ben Jacobs that Balogun allegedly, smash the like button and let me know your thoughts, people, has asked Arsenal to drop their asking price. He's already said he's gone on loan. As you know, Inter Milan feel 45 million is probably a bit too steep. Balogun feels Arsenal have added 10 million extra to the fee and it's pricing him out of the market. Arsenal argue their valuation is more than fair given his 22 goals last season at Reims and their potential. Some at the club want 50 million as a minimum. And allegedly, Ben Jacobs has said keep an eye on West Ham. They haven't moved for Balogun yet, but do like the player. Multiple Premier League clubs have inquired. Probably more likely to get your 45, 50 million from a Premier League club. I understand Balogun's frustration, but in a nice way, I don't give a flying monkeys because really and truly, you've got another year on your deal. Obviously, the value can fluctuate. We're entitled to demand whatever the hell we want and put the shoe on the other foot. If Balogun left, I don't know, let's just say Brighton and went to Inter Milan and had the season he had last year, how much are they going to sell him back to this very market in English shores? Forget about that. But I do think with Balogun and a lot of players, probably as the market goes on, price tags are going to drop. I don't think Raya is going to go from Brentford to Arsenal or anywhere for 40 million. I do think Balogun's price tag, rightly so, will probably drop. And there'll probably be a couple of others in that regards as well, folks. So we'll have to watch that one very closely. Again, so that's in relation to that. Ben Cottrell has left our under-21s and made the permanent move to NS Mura in Slovakia. The 21-year-old's been very unfortunate with injuries. That's probably halted his progress. He does leave Arsenal having made a pro appearance. Best of luck in Slovakia, really. Probably needed to leave permanently or go on loan a lot sooner and play men's football, but it doesn't appear that his future is at the club. Apparently, Tavares has had his squad number allegedly stripped of him, says this article, people. But Tavares is, contracted at the club, whether you're going to be at the club or not next season. You have to, what's going on here? You're paid to turn up at London Coley, so you're going to train, and it's in your best interest to keep training. We already know Edu has apparently been asked to reduce Balogun's price tag. We've heard West Ham are interested. We've also heard allegedly that Brighton have had interest, along with Monaco and Leipzig. Mikel Arteta has been speaking on the assessment of our new signings and also pre-season, to which he has said, people, specifically, where is it? It was incredible to see the level of support we had in America during our pre-season tour, and we're so excited to be back in front of our people in North London for the Emirates Cup. Our tour was challenging in terms of visiting 3 cities with a lot of challenges, We had some very competitive and tough matches, but it was a really valuable time for us, a very well-planned tour, and a very worthwhile for us in the work, what we did. It's great for the players to witness the belief and energy that is around the team. The way our supporters around the world follow the team is just phenomenal. That has been great, and we needed this after a really demanding season last year. There are players in the squad who played 7 different competitions in a calendar year, which is unheard of. So we have adapted pre-season, the timeframes and the workload that some players had to get in the best possible condition. We are now in a period where we play the Emirates Cup and the Community Shield, which is the last week before the season starts now, a period where we need to get some freshness in the legs. We have to find that balance in the next few days because the new Premier League season starts. We've got some fresh faces in the squad this year, and I'm so pleased that we are able to bring these signings in early in the transfer window, so we've been able to work with them. The feedback we've had from the new players is that they feel like they've been here for years already, which is great. That tells you a lot about the culture here and how welcoming and easy everyone around the place is, to make you feel part of it and part of the Arsenal family straight away. Obviously, for some of them, it's been a big change in the model they're used to, in the demands and expectations, and we have to acknowledge that and treat them in the right way. So let's make sure we give those players some time as well and make sure that they have the needed space in which to express themselves, and then to get to the level that we want from them. That is always important in helping new players integrate future great. So yeah, hopefully we do all right against Monaco. On the topic of Monaco, I will be doing a watch along for that. We kick off at 6 p.m. I'll be live from 5 p.m. Appreciative of you lot watching and listening to this video. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Comment, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, check out the rest of the content. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out. And obviously it's my mom's birthday. She's gonna watch my vid. Happy birthday, mom, as well. I'm out.
There's always just that active red light defending.
I've been given like